Ever feel like you're kind of working against yourself? Like there's some invisible force just holding you back from everything you really want? Well, in this explainer, we're going to talk about how to take control of that internal programming, how to literally rewrite your own mental code for success.
I mean, I bet this sounds familiar to a lot of you, right? It's that exhausting loop. You get ambitious, then you procrastinate, and then the guilt sets in. It's like you're running on a treadmill. You're putting in all this effort, but you're just not getting anywhere.
But what if the problem isn't you? What if you're not lazy or unmotivated? Just think about this for a second. Your brain, it's the most powerful supercomputer on the entire planet. But what if it's just running old, buggy software? Software that was installed ages ago, probably without you even knowing it. So when we're kids, our mental software, it kind of gets installed on autopilot. It's programmed by society, our parents, our schools, all the things we see and hear. And look, a lot of that code is super useful, but some of it is full of bugs that can mess with our performance for years and years. And these bugs, that's what we call limiting beliefs. The best way to think of them is like corrupted lines of code, just running in the background. They're these subconscious rules that tell you what you can and can't do. And man, they can silently sabotage your best efforts without you even realizing it. And these internal error messages, they often sound a little something like this. Yeah, that nagging little voice that pops up right when you're about to take a leap of faith or try something new. Or hey, maybe it's this one about money. It's just a little piece of code, but it can make you unconsciously shy away from opportunities, all because your internal system is programmed for scarcity instead of abundance. And this might just be the most damaging bug of all. This one simple line of code can literally cause you to quit right before you have a massive breakthrough just because your system isn't programmed to actually handle a win. Okay, so identifying these bugs is step one for sure. But here's the thing, you can't just delete them. It's not like dragging a file to the trash can. They're usually buried pretty deep. So we've got to start by deconstructing the old code, really questioning it, challenging it, and seeing it for what it is. It's just a thought, right? Not a fact. I mean, this quote really hits home, doesn't it? Let that sink in for a second. We would never let a friend talk to us like that. So why on earth do we let ourselves get away with it? This is exactly why we have to start pushing back on that inner critic. And this is the incredible power of a reframe. You're not changing what happened, right? You're just changing what it means. The old programming says failure is the end. Game over. But the new, reprogrammed mindset looks at the exact same situation and says, oh, this is just data. This is feedback I can use to get better. But listen, trying to change a core belief overnight, that's like trying to rewrite your entire operating system in one sitting. You're just asking for a system crash. A much, much smarter way to do it is with the 1% rule. So instead of trying to force yourself to believe I am wealthy, which can feel like a lie, you start smaller. You say, it is possible for me to be 1% more abundant today. See? It's manageable, it's less intimidating, and it's how you build real momentum. All right, so once we've started to challenge that old, buggy code, it's time for the fun part, actively installing some new, powerful software. So let's get into a toolkit of things you can start using, like right now. Okay, think of these 3 things as your primary programming languages for your mind. Affirmations, those are your direct commands. Visualization, that's like creating the blueprint for what you want. And writing it down, that's like hitting save, making it concrete and real. You put them all together and you start overwriting those old junky patterns with brand new instructions. Now, when it comes to affirmations, there is one critical, non-negotiable rule. Your subconscious mind, it's not great with negatives. It doesn't really hear don't or not. So instead of focusing on what you want to avoid, you have to frame your affirmations around what you want to attract. Always state the positive outcome you're going for. $10 million. This number is at the heart of one of the most famous and, frankly, most powerful stories about visualization and, well, writing stuff down. So the story goes that long before he was a household name, the actor Jim Carrey wrote a check to himself for this amount for acting services rendered. He even post-dated it, and he kept it in his wallet for years as a constant reminder. He was basically programming his mind to accept this reality. And then, years later, he got paid that exact amount for a movie role. That's the power of making your intention a real, tangible thing. But look, installing new software is only half the job, right? You've got to do regular system maintenance to keep everything running smoothly. Think of meditation like defragging your mental hard drive, just clearing out the clutter. A gratitude journal, that's like reinforcing the best parts of your new code. And curating your environment, the people, the info, the spaces you're in, that's basically running a firewall against new viruses like negativity from people or the news. Okay, so let's bring this all together. How does this actually work in the real world? Because reprogramming your mind, it's not a one-and-done thing. It's about rebooting your system and then running that new software every single day through what you actually do.
And this is absolutely crucial. You can have all the affirmations and visualizations in the world, but they won't mean a thing if you don't back them up with real-world action. The mental work clears the path, for sure, but you still have to walk it. It's your actions that ultimately prove your new beliefs are real. So what does that look like day to day? Here's a super simple daily reboot routine you can start, like, today. And we're not talking about huge commitments here. These are tiny micro habits designed to just keep that new software running. In the morning, you visualize one small win for the day. Midday, you take one deep breath before you open your laptop. And in the evening, you write down just one thing you're grateful for. That's it. That's how you build an operating system designed for success.
So in the end, it really all boils down to a choice. I mean, this quote from Tim Denning just says it all, right? You can stay a slave to the old code, the factory default settings you were handed, or you can go through the sometimes tough process of reprogramming it yourself. Because ultimately, you're the one at the keyboard. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, that's the code that's going to write your future. The system is just sitting there, waiting for your input. So the only question left is, what are you going to write next?